because the Dallas police killed her son, shot him to death, Clinton Allen. A 25-year-old black man, father of twins. Clinton was unarmed the night of March 13th, 2013, when Officer Clark Stoller shot him 7 times. Shot him 5 times in the chest. Shot him 1 time in the upper arm as if it were raised. And shot him a final time at close range in the back. No trial, no charges, no indictment, no civil damages, no accountability of any kind. And since that night, U.S. police have shot to death in this country more than 15,000 people, 1,100 a year, every year since 2013. This is the American police state that has existed parallel to and within our democracy. You might call it the regular police state. But under Trump's deportation policies, the police state has metastasized like a cancer with the ICE raids, the racial profiling, the arbitrary arrests, the pretext traffic stops, the beatings, and the killings of both immigrants and citizens alike. But check this out. Trump, his deportation policies are a mirror image of the mass deportations that took place under President Eisenhower in the 1950s. Trump and his actions and his policies is nothing new to our history. Let's take another action. Trump's DEI policies. They are, of course, an expression of his relentless anti-black racism, to the point where administration lawyers argue in court that diversity itself is racial discrimination against whites. But even here, Trump is echoing a previous president, Woodrow Wilson, in the years before World War I. Just bear with me a second. The federal workforce in Washington, D.C. was desegregated in the 1860s, late 1860s, during Reconstruction, and even more so after the civil service started in the 1880s. But Wilson, when he got into office, his first year in office, 1913, actually resegregated federal employees. Separate offices, separate bathrooms, separate cafeterias, lack of promotion opportunities, and unequal pay. All of the insults of second-class status due to racial reasons. So you've got Trump chasing the ghost of the 1950s. You've got him chasing the ghost of the early 20th century, the 1910s. But his executive order nullifying the 14th Amendment and trying to end birthright citizenship takes us all the way back to the Civil War. The opponents of the 14th Amendment at the time, 1868, they were the remnants, the holdouts of the slave power that had just been defeated by the Union Army. We're lucky, really, and thank God today, Pastor Folkorth, that the radical abolitionists in the Congress defeated Trump's allies on the plantation. And if you think about it, Trump stands before us today like a ruined plantation owner in Georgia after Sherman's March to the Sea. He goes back that far. And if you think about him going back that far, and you think of the opposition back then, you will see that our cause was here before we came. And there's comfort in that. Our cause was here before we came. We're always standing on the shoulders of thousands and thousands of nameless people who stood up for justice in their own time. And there's strength in that, and there's a comfort from that. Let me just tell you one more story about that. About 2 months after John Brown, y'all remember him from high school? 5 minutes in high school? Okay. After John Brown raid on Harper's Ferry. In 1859. He was captured and he was executed. In Concord, Massachusetts, abolitionist families took in his daughters, Annie and Sarah, and provided for their education. Concord was a little town, but it had famous residents, like the writers Henry David Thoreau and Emerson and others you may have heard of. But most people, just like us, that live there, most of the townspeople are unknown to history. Now follow me. Franklin Sanborn was the school director where John Brown's daughters went to school. He had also helped Brown plan the raid on Harper's Ferry, and he was a wanted fugitive. When federal marshals came to arrest him, April 3rd, 1860, the entire town turned out and surrounded the law enforcement carriage at the time and blocked them from leaving. The people showered those marshals in that carriage with rocks, and they threatened to free their Concord schoolmaster by force. And later, when the federal marshals left that night, Franklin Sanborn stayed in his hometown. Now, we'll never know the names of Thoreau's neighbors who saved a freedom fighter in a little town a long time ago. But I tell you their story because these anonymous people of conscience, are us. They are us, and we are them, if we claim their legacy. We are links on a chain of resistance that reaches back hundreds of years and reaches forward into the future. And there's a lot of strength in that. And I want to close out with a little call and response. So I'm going to ask a question, and then I want you to respond loud. Okay, so spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you what the answer is. The answer is hell yes. All right. Thoreau once wrote, "Let your life be the counter friction to stop the machine."
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Are we ready to stop Trump's machine?
Hell yes.
Hell yes. Are we ready in Dallas to stop Trump's machine?
Hell yes.
Are we ready in Dallas today to stop Trump's machine?
Hell yes.
Hell yes, hell yes, and hell yes. Woo! All right, we got to vote in November, of course, and we must, but we can vote every day with our lives. We can let our lives be the counter friction to stop this god-awful machine. And we owe that to our ancestors, and we owe it to ourselves. Thank you. It's a pleasure for me and an honor to introduce Eric Coffray. He's a leader in the group over